the Karaka of the 8th house. 8th house Karaka. Saturn. So put those two things together.
Sattva Saturn.
Transformation.
Hardworking, transformation. Transformation for what purpose?
Growth and truth and dharma.
Yeah, it's sattvic.
Old studies.
So Saturn, it's actually, does it sound like that bad of a house?
It's not that bad.
Does it sound that bad?
Well, it's real good for spirituality.
Not just spirituality, it's not that bad of a house.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the moon.
Eight.
Because it's 8th, and the moon never likes the 8th. And not only that, but because the moon is the Karaka. What you have, is that what you have?
Or they read along that.
The thing is, moon is, I have it too, so don't worry. Yeah. The moon is the Karaka for the Arudha Lagna. And whenever a Karaka goes to the 8th or 12th from it, it's generally not the best. So the moon going to the 8th or 12th from Arudha Lagna, it's not the best, because it's the Karaka of it.
What does it mean?
I wouldn't worry about it. I haven't seen any major, it's not that bad of a house. 8th house from the Lagna is this bad house, this house of all these issues. The 8th house from Arudha Lagna is really, I have not seen bad results from it at all. Let's see, I have, so 3 things I'm going to point out with 8th house from Arudha Lagna. First is, because it's Saturn, it's about health. Sattvic Saturn. So it shows how healthy you're perceived. Not how long you'll live. But for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I use his example. He has Jupiter, 8th from Arudha Lagna. Do you think he's healthy?
No.
Huh?
Yeah, it looks like he is. He's a
Just the average person.
Yeah. He looks like he's robust.
We know that he's on steroids.
I know, but the average person, the perception,
He was very healthy.
thinks he's he's the ideal health. And in magazines and stuff, he's like the health superstar. That's the Jupiter from Arudha Lagna. But how is his health for real?
He smokes.
He smokes, he drinks, he does steroids. He's not healthy at all. But that Jupiter there is helping him out so much.
He's got Jupiter in the 8th and the
8th from Arudha Lagna.
It's up on the board.
Yeah. Now if we look at Guruji, Sanjay, what's he have 8th from Arudha Lagna? Anybody know off the top of their head? It's not in there. It's not in there.
He has the sun and Venus.
Sun and Venus.
It's sun.
What do you think that means?
He keeps a lot of sweets.
Needs a lot of sweets. It's actually it's a destructive yoga in general. Sun and Venus together. Yeah.
Sun and Venus are 8th and 12th.
Yeah, and Sun and Venus, it's a destructive yoga. That's a whole other class.
I mean, from the Arudha Lagna.
Yeah. So in general, he's perceived as healthy, but, because he has that Venus there and the sun there pretty much supporting him. But it's a destructive yoga, the combination, and so if you get to know him, it's really, he smokes a lot of cigarettes and drinks a lot of coffee and doesn't eat that healthy.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And when I lived with him in Puri, I remember once he was getting sick, and I said, Guruji, you can't eat white bread for breakfast. You gotta, maybe if you start eating this, you'll feel... He said, ignored me. Called the pujari, did a puja, he was all better. And he went back to, just kept eating the same... So... But that's,
Well, he knows exactly when he's going to die, so
Yeah.
the difference doesn't make what he eats or smokes.
It's the quality of life that you live till then. If you're not able to do as much work as you want because your heart, because you have high blood pressure, and that's not the highest. Ayurveda is not about extending how long you're going to live, because the ancient Ayurvedic doctors knew you'd only live to be so long. Ayurveda is about improving the quality of life while you are alive. All the remedies in Ayurveda, they're not about making you live thousands of years. It's about making you enjoy the years that you are alive.
It's interesting how these guys who are so loaded up with energy you know, the Chi guys, the acupuncturists, they're all heavy smokers.
Uh-huh.
There's Chinese doctors who are very famous. I mean, I haven't met an
Well,
acupuncturist.
well, the big thing is that's Chinese. China right now, if you think about America in the 50s and 60s, everybody smoked. It was the cool thing to do, and everybody did it. Even if you didn't like it, you still did it anyway, just because everybody was doing it. China's in that reality right now. Everybody Chinese and China-wise, it's just, the culture right now is just, that's what everybody's doing. So, Japanese too, yeah. So it's just some dasha that they're in right now. I'd say that more than...
K2 Does K2 smoke?
K2 is smoke. Well, that's a whole debate about who exactly... Because the smoke from the cigarette's K2, but the actual inhaling of it is considered heating, and it's fire, so it's primarily connected to Mars. So I connect Mars to the actual act of smoking, but the smoke coming from it is K2. And you'll notice people, and if we look in Ayurveda, and you know, generally my rationale for most of these things go back to Ayurveda, and then to the effects. If you see people that smoke, or if you look, remedies that require smoking are kapha disorders where dry heat is needed for the body. Right? You agree with that, Jane? Smoking is when dry heat's needed in the body.
Yeah.
That's when it's recommended. So if we look at that, it's primarily we're looking at Mars. So, okay. So then throw up Sandra's chart. This your old friend Sandra Ray. So, and so look, do you see what's 8th from her, Arudha Lagna?
Saturn and Jupiter.
Saturn, Jupiter. What is that?
It's a Brahma Yoga.
What's Brahma Yoga do?
Wants to know about the universe, how it works.
That's right. So do you know who Sandra Ray is?
She's a well-known writer.
Yeah, what's she write about?
Haven't read any of her stuff.
Physical immortality.
She writes about physical immortality. Make sense? 8th from her, Arudha Lagna. She's all about, you know, she wants to understand why we die, how we cannot die.
She wrote a book about how do you stay alive forever. Really, I hung around her. I mean, she really believes that. I don't know if she still does. But she's had students die on her courses.
So, if we look with that combination, what does she have conjunct that Saturn and Jupiter?
A9, A3.
A9. A9 is what? Guru. So, do you think her guru lives forever?
No.
Huh? Her guru is Harikan Babaji. Oh, yeah. And he's considered an immortal yogi. What else is there?
We're looking at the
So what's her books about? Physical
Fighting,
immortality.
yeah, so it's like fighting to stay alive.
Yeah. She's also very famous for holotropic breath work, which is called rebirthing. And rebirthing is about it's a technique of breathing that creates a lot of transformation and overcoming things. 8th house from Arudha Lagna. Brahma Yoga.
Seems like a good, because Jupiter's about expansion and Saturn's contraction, sort of breathing itself.
Are you're familiar with rebirthing?
With what?
Rebirthing?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's one of the primary promoters.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
and Leonard
that's
Orr
what I mean.
are the...
It seems like it makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense, right?
And chore for the body, so it's expansion and contraction of the body.
So that clarifies that pretty good, the transformational aspects and everything with that 8th house from Arudha Lagna. So let's move down to Elvis. Elvis.
Another immortal yogi.
One of those immortal yogis.
He's still alive.
He's got thing after death.
That's
Um,
right. Thing
so-
after death.
Arudha Lagna is with K2. What's opposite it? 7th from it.
She's got Rahu and Venus.
Rahu and Venus. So what did he use to get famous?
His sex, his sex appeal.
Sexuality.
Sex appeal. Did he not use sex appeal to get famous?
Totally.
What house is it from Lagna?
No.
House from Lagna.
The Arudha Lagna?
No,
Third.
the seventh from.
Third.
Third. What's the third house represent?
Courage.
Hmm?
Energy. Courage. What pronoun?
Sex, other things too, though.
Oh yeah,
Copulation.
partying again.
Copulation.
Partying.
Sex. Music. Drama.
Music,
drama.
performing arts.
Mhm.
Performing arts are associated with that.
The third
Why are
house.
performing arts and artists always associated with sex and drugs and partying? It's all third house. It's that whole third house reality. People, how often do people become rock and roll stars and stay saints? They enter the third house and they're surrounded by women and money and drugs and parties. They go together. So being a rock and roll star is not a way for moksha. It's the path of kama, the third house. So it's in the third house, and that's seventh from the Arudha Lagna. So utilizing that, how did he break through? How did his Arudha rise? Using using that sexuality and performing with it.
Mhm.
You see how that's
Right.
utilized together.
Yeah. Mhm.
If he tried to go and sing in a different way, his Arudha wouldn't have risen. That Rahu would have totally just blocked him. But he utilized it. He pleased Rahu, and okay. Eighth from is Arudha Lagna.
Saturn.
Saturn moon.
What do you think about that?
Oh, it's the Arudha Lagna ruler is in 8th house with Saturn.
Well, the moon is.
So you see, he has moon eighth from Arudha Lagna, and he did okay, right?
No, he was miserable. He
That's
had all those
debatable.
drugs.
Well, that's because it's with Saturn,
Yeah,
and not only is it with Saturn, look at Saturn and Rahu.
He's a real mama's boy too.
they're in there. They're exchanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a whole craziness going on with there. But the bottom line is,
Saturn and Rahu.
it created a lot of suffering in his life,
Oh.
but he it didn't stop him from being famous. Okay, that's an important note. Just like that Saturn with the Arudha Lagna, it didn't stop him from being emperor. But look at the kind of emperor it made him.
Right.
Look at another thing. Look at who's the lord of the Arudha Lagna.
It's the moon.
It's the moon. Where is it placed? From its own sign.
8th from it.
But not from It's in
Huh?
chaos.
So it's Marna Karkastana. So the more famous he became,
The more miserable he got.
the more miserable he got.
That's really true.
Okay?
It's like in a catch-22 there.
If he only knew the remedy for Marna Karkastana moon.
Uh-huh.
He did a little Kali worship for that Saturn moon yoga, and he worshipped the Somanath Lingam, he'd be a happy man. Okay. So, move to where it says loans and risks. Loans and risks. So, when you apply for a loan, what do people look at you? When they look at you and whether they give you a loan or not, what do they base it on?
Whether or not to repay it.
history.
It should be reliable enough not to flake out.
So bad.
They're evaluating you. They want to know whether your image, have you interacted with society in a way that makes you look responsible? And are you going to pay it back? That's seen from the 8th from Arudha Lagna. For example, Eric has never had a credit card. And he doesn't do anything everything he does in cash. He applied for a credit card and they didn't give it to him.
Oh.
It's not that he has bad credit, in that he did anything negative with it. He just has no credit. So in this way, the 8th from the Arudha Lagna, it's going to show how people are viewing our credit reality. It's how our credit reality is being viewed. I mean, even if you pay your credit card a few days late after the due date, you all of a sudden have these negative things happening. So it doesn't mean you're not going to repay, but it's just what is being presented. So that 8th house from Arudha Lagna is going to show how responsible people are perceiving you as, whether they are willing to take a risk with you or not. Good planets there will show that they will take a risk with you. Negative planets, they will doubt taking risks with you.
Just related to money.
Primarily, yeah. But in general, risks. It shows your risk evaluation. Now, planets placed there will also be significations that will help you get a loan. So what's the first level? If Sun is there,
People
Get a loan from your father.
home.
we'll either get it from him or have him go co-sign or some way help you. Moon there, Mother. Second level up, if Sun is there, government. Okay. Saturn is there. No, he's not going to give too easily, is he? Maybe go to the poverty department or somewhere like HUD. What is HUD? HUD stands for.
Housing underground development. No, government would be like I got a
Yeah, no.
school
He's
loan.
saying Saturn. If Saturn's there.
Oh right, Olympics.
I was saying HUD. HUD is what's the HUD is.
Housing underground development.
It's for people that don't have enough money to
Urban
ever buy a
development.
house, but they
Urban.
build these
Housing
small
urban.
houses that are
Housing and urban development.
Yeah. So something like this, it's Saturn's more things that are meant for people that are, they're going to be more likely, unless it's strong.
So what will be the perception with if Saturn is there?
People, the perception won't be as it won't be as good. Even if your credit history is good, it's going to be twice as hard for you to get that loan. Okay. You have Saturn there, or
No, my son.
your son does, but it's exalted, right?
No, he is in Gemini.
It's in Gemini. Okay, yeah. So he'll have a little bit more trouble. Just watch him with the credit cards. When he's young. Make sure he knows how to use it and he pays it off every month. Take care. Look at that. Help him. Teach him. Take a little extra time. And teach him the dynamics of the reality, and also show him the importance of it. But you see, the thing is, why talk about that versus something else? You see where the problems areas are, and you know where to focus. Okay, so we're done that 8th house, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
There must be more to it than that. That was really short.
Yeah,
I
well, we're...
complaining to Sanjay about that.
Huh? About what?
There's not that much written about it.
It's just not the house though, you're worried about it.
Yeah, it's a Sattvic house. It's really not that bad. Loans, transformation, and longevity, like health,
And sex appeal.
sex appeal.
Yeah,
Where's
they're
your
better
Luna?
than-
It's in Aries.
I don't know about sex appeal.
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't say. It's not going to show
Because I
too much.
remember reading something about Muhammad Ali and Marilyn Monroe that they both had a very packed 8th house.
From Arudha
From
Lagna,
Lagna.
though.
No,
Oh, I
just
don't
a
know.
regular 8th house. was
Regular.
back.
Yeah, from Arudha Lagna, it's not
No.
going to show sex
Okay.
appeal. And I don't even know how much sex appeal it would show from Lagna either.
No.
There needs to be some sex
Has to
appeal. You
be
need Venus in
Arudha.
7th house and A7 and those kind of significations.
Okay.
Yeah. 9th house from Arudha Lagna. Do we want to take a small break? Yeah, let's take a small break this time, because this is what I really want to cover.